Busy Making Money up to take the lead. Skylight Ride 3 deep, but right up and on them. A gap of 5 back to Buds and Suds, Lucky Nia, and Demystify. Less than 3/8 of a mile to go. Busy Making Money opens up 3. Chips and Skylight Ride, stride for stride, second and third. Buds and Suds making good headway in fourth. Just behind those battling second and third place runners as the field turns for home. Busy Making Money, 4-length lead. Buds and Suds splits that pair, moves into second, and is coming after Busy Making Money. Busy Making Money still going well with a 4-length advantage in the final furlong. Buds and Suds, Lucky Nia belatedly. It's Busy Making Money. Too good. Busy Making Money, a prompt favorite, scores by 4 lengths. Buds and Suds second, another 7 or 8 back to Lucky Nia and Chips. We're in the gate. And they're off. Happy Does broke well, Upstart Yankee, Rich Gold, and Quality Cat. 4 of them line up battling for the lead. Crown Magic comes away in 5th. Veritas Akita second to last. And Mount Peliar trails. Around the first turn, and it's Upstart Yankee with a narrow advantage. Happy Does at the rail. And then Rich Gold 3 wide, Quality Cat outside of them. Crown Magic in the orange colors is in 5th, 3.5 or so off the lead with 5.5 furlongs to run. Veritas Akita settles and a gap of 4 to Mount Peliar. They straighten up for the run down the backstretch, and it's Upstart Yankee leading by a head, getting mild pressure from Rich Gold, and outside of them, Quality Cat just a half length off the pace in 3rd. Happy Does and Crown Magic are racing 4th and 5th. Then Veritas Akitas 5 lengths off the lead, and it's a long way to Mount Peliar. They move toward the 3/8 pole. Upstart Yankee leads. He's had pressure the whole way. Rich Gold a neck away second. Room at the rail for Happy Does coming back for more. A 4 wide Quality Cat. Here's Veritas Akitas joining the fray. Has 4 lengths to make up as Happy Does takes over with a 1/4 mile to go. Happy Does the leader. Upstart Yankee dropping out of it. Crown Magic comes 1 from the rail and is now challenging Happy Does. Happy Does, Crown Magic come to the 8th pole, and Crown Magic and Frank Alvarado just in front, and here's Veritas Akitas, and Veritas Akitas has come after that top pair. Crown Magic, Veritas Akitas, Crown Magic, Veritas Akitas, Crown Magic, very game, turns away Veritas Akitas. Happy Does finish 3rd. Fast Service is acting up in the gate, settles down. Still a little fidgety. And they're off. Factory Drive is going for the lead. Crone Zone, Mischief Moments along the inside has speed too. American Renegade, then Topper's Wager 1 from the rail. Fighting Ring is down on the fence, and Fast Service 4 wide. It's a compact field that rounds the first turn. Where Mischief Moments on the inside is head and head with Crone Zone. Those two a length and a half in front. Factory Drive moves up to take 3rd. Down at the rail, Fighting Ring, Topper's Wager between those two. Fast Service goes to put even more pressure on the top pair, and American Renegade is 5 lengths off the lead. It's Crone Zone coming to the 5/8 pole, leading a half a length. Mischief Moments in second. Factory Drive on the outside, 3 of them across the track. Fast Service 4 deep, but only a length and a half or so off them. Then Topper's Wager, American Renegade, and at the back is Fighting Ring. Less than a half mile to travel. Mischief Moments and Crone Zone. Factory Drive, 3 across the track still. At the rail, Topper's Wager is in 4th. Then American Renegade. Fast Service made that move, but is flattening out. Still a long way. Fighting Ring. They're coming to the quarter pole. Tyler Bay's all over Factory Drive, but he does have the lead at the rail. Mischief Moments second. Topper's Wagers had a good ground-saving trip. 3 off them, and then American Renegade, the others far back. They are at the top of the stretch. Factory Drive. Mischief Moments comes right back at him, though, and Mischief Moments and Serafin Carmona in front past the 8th pole. Factory Drive trying to come back. 4 clear of Topper's Wager. They're a 16th from home. Mischief Moments in front by 2, and Mischief Moments will win it. Scores by 2.5. Photo for second is extremely close. Topper's Wager and Factory Drive, then American Renegade. In the gate. And they're off. Bold Daughter is quick, so is Proof of Jazz. Super Ellie, Shanghai Miss down at the rail. Princess Hakawi now shows some speed. At the back of the field are Vulin and Hollywood Mistress trails. Moving around the first turn, 7 furlongs out. Proof of Jazz will be the pace setter. Leads it by 2 to Princess Hakawi in second. Then Shanghai Mist on the inside of Super Ellie. Super Ellie steadying between rivals. Bold Daughter is just outside of that pair, 3 lengths off the lead. It's another 3 back to Vulin, who's 2 clear of Hollywood Mistress. Down the backstretch, and Proof of Jazz, the lone leader, has up a length and a half to Princess Hakawi. Now Super Ellie into a better rhythm on the inside of Bold Daughter. Shanghai Mist is 5th, 4 lengths off the pace. Vulin is out in the center of the racetrack, 5 clear of Hollywood Mistress. They move toward the 3/8 pole with Proof of Jazz, 3/4 of a length. Princess Hakawi trying to put some pressure on now in second. 2 more lengths on the inside. Super Ellie is trying to get a bit closer. Bold Daughter just outside of her. Vulin 5th. Shanghai Mist. Hollywood Mistress has been well back throughout. Princess Hakawi takes the lead coming to the quarter pole. Moving into second is Bold Daughter. These two have pulled 4 clear of Super Ellie in third. They're at the top of the stretch, and Princess Hakawi's just in front. Bold Daughter a length and a half back second, and then Super Ellie in third. Final furlong, Princess Hakawi a length. Bold Daughter getting closer, and Super Ellie is just behind the top pair. It's going to get close. Princess Hakawi, here's Super Ellie, and on the outside, Bold Daughter. 3 of them come for the wire together. Photo finish, very, very close. Either Princess Hakawi or Super Ellie. Behind them, Bold Daughter. You're sure to experience world-class gaming, dining, and entertainment. Coming soon to Yamava Theater, Santana, April 16th, and James Taylor, May 8th. Visit yamava.com for tickets. In the gate. And they're off. Commander stumbled a bit out of the gate. It's a fast start for Hacking It Up. Square Cap broke in front, but Hacking It Up has now taken the lead. Here's Devil Be Me in the red colors, showing good speed with Awesome Rhythm. So those two go on. Awesome Rhythm just in front. Devil Be Me about a half length behind in second. Then Hacking It Up on the fence third, followed by Square Cat, who's 4th and 3.5 lengths off the lead. And outside of that pair comes Cane Creek Road, 3 in front of Commander. Moving into the far turn, Awesome Rhythm on the outside, and Devil Be Me. Awesome Rhythm now extends that lead just a touch. Devil Be Me trying to keep pace and doing so right on the inside. 3 back to Hacking It Up in third. And then on the outside comes Cane Creek Road with Square Cap dropping back. Commander hugs the rail. They pass the quarter pole, and Devil Be Me is the new leader. Awesome Rhythm on the outside of him. 3 clear of Hacking It Up in third. Down at the rail, Commander. They're in the final furlong, and it is Devil Be Me now starting to pull away. 3-length lead on Awesome Rhythm, who's clearly second. Commander is in third. It's Devil Be Me. Rebuking the competition under Kyle Frey. Devil Be Me scores by 3. Awesome Rhythm, clearly second best. Commander third. Cane Creek Road was 4th. You're in the gate. And they're off. Even start. Last call, Paul broke with the top flight today. Hydroplane is matching strides, and they're joined by Fincairn on the inside. Now the gray caught in the dark flies through, and caught in the dark is faster than all. Trotsky moves up to take second, and they're followed by Hydroplane, 2 off the pace in third. Fincairn is in fourth, followed by Last Call Paul being ridden along on the inside of Cotton Rosser, and 3 back to Going Nowhere. They passed a half-mile pole with Caught in the Dark, the leader, but he's pressed intently by the favorite, Trotsky, who's just a neck back second. 3 more. Cotton Rosser makes some headway on the outside to take third from Hydroplane. Fincairn is back to fifth. Last Call Paul, Fresu all over him, has 6 to make up, and another 2 Going Nowhere is starting to pick it up from behind. Many chances with a quarter of a mile to go. Cotton Rosser and Trotsky. Last Call Paul starting to pick up some momentum, and Going Nowhere, who was last, is coming with a big bid. He's in some tight quarters, though. Can he get in the middle of Last Call Paul and Cotton Rosser? In the meantime, Last Call got the jump down at the rail. Trotsky, center of the track. Going Nowhere is now third. It is Last Call Paul and Trotsky in a ding-dong battle to the wire. Here it is. Photo finish. Looked like Trotsky. I think it's Trotsky by a nose. Last Call Paul right there with him. Close photo. And Going Nowhere, an unlucky third. Complete the line. And they're off in the clocker's corner. Very even break. Banyik, Hamwood Flyer, and Vlahos will be in behind those 2, but just about a length and a half covers them, as it is Banyik who will set the pace to the half-mile pole. Now Vlahos is asked to get closer, take second, and Hamwood Flyer, the gray, as they get into single file past the half-mile pole. Kent DeSormo and Banyik, a length and a half to Antonio Fresu and Vlahos, 4 lengths back to Victor Espinoza aboard Hamwood Flyer. They have less than 3 furlongs to travel. Banyik and Vlahos. Vlahos hard-ridden. Banyik seems to be doing it very nicely on the front end. And Hamwood Flyer did not keep up. They passed the quarter pole and turned for home. Banyik and Vlahos. Vlahos on the outside and Banyik with 3/16 to go. They pass Clocker's corner and head to the 8th pole. Banyik just in front, maintaining a narrow advantage. Vlahos trying to get him in the last 16th. Banyik or Vlahos. Vlahos on the outside now finds his best stride and asserts his superiority. Vlahos wins the Clocker's corner. Banyik was second, a long way to Hamwood Flyer. She checked in third. We're in the gate. And they're off. Let's have one more bobbled out of the gate. Grand Tiger is very quick away from there. Golden River has some early speed, and now Let's Have One More recovers and rushes into contention as Mega Moon comes through to take second. They're followed by Teddy's Triumph, racing 2 clear of Carol's Comic. Down at the rail, Always on Key, Magic Account second to last, and Rogue Sun at the back of the field. Past the half-mile pole, it's Mega Moon at the rail and Grand Tiger, and they've sped 4 lengths clear. Teddy's Triumph moves clearly into third. On the outside, Carol's Comic making some headway. In fact, he dives down toward the rail and takes that 3rd spot. Magic Account is trying to make some headway from behind, as is Rogue Sun. They're a quarter of a mile from home, and Mega Moon sailing along. Opens up 3 now. Grand Tiger trying to hold second, but Carol's Comic's cutting the corner and coming after this leader now. 3/16 of a mile to go. Mega Moon by 4 lengths. Carol's Comic, followed by Magic Account and Rogue Sun. They head toward the 16th pole, and Mega Moon by 4. Carol's Comic is grinding away, along with Magic Account and Rogue Sun. But it will be Mega Moon, a very easy win. Mega Moon wins stylishly. Tight photo for second. Ended up probably going to Magic Account outside Carol's Comic. Rogue Sun finished fourth. Going none. They're in the gate. And they're off. Soy None out alertly, but it's Legitimate who's quicker and goes to the front. Tex has sharp early speed too. And just in behind them, Catch the Breeze. Dettori is next, and Newlands is immediately guided well off the rail and is 8 lengths off front running Legitimate, who will go to the 6 furlong pole sprinting along. In front by 4 lengths now. Tex is in second. At the fence, Catch the Breeze in the green colors third, followed by Soy None inching up next. Dettori and 3 more back to Newlands. Down the back stretch, 5 furlongs to run, and it's Legitimate. Bounding along, now 6 lengths clear of Catch the Breeze, who takes up the chase in second. Soy None in third, and here's Dettori the Gray moving through along the inside fourth, within 5 lengths of the lead as they take closer order past the half-mile pole. Tex dropping right out of it, and Newlands is outside of him. Legitimate still sprinting along with a 5-length advantage. Catch the Breeze trying to close the gap. Dettori is set down and making headway. Dettori now takes second and is coming after that leader Legitimate, who's had it all his own way. Behind them, Soy None, the others well back. They turn for home, and Legitimate still with gas in the tank and a 4-length lead. Dettori is clearly second, followed by Catch the Breeze and Soy None. They're coming to the 16th pole, and Legitimate is long gone. Legitimate pouring it on, in fact. 8, 9 lengths. It's all Legitimate. Another for Flavien Prat. Double digits when the smoke clears. Dettori was second, Soy None, and Catch the Breeze.
Hi, everybody, and a happy, pleasant Friday afternoon to each and everyone. Let me start over again. Let's re-cue the tape and take two on live TV. Hi, everybody. It's a very pleasant Friday here at the Great Race Place. We're delighted that you decided to join us. We've got a good 9-race card, and you've often heard me say in the seminar, tell me you love horse racing without telling me that you love horse racing, and our seminar guest today certainly does that without saying that he loves horse racing. His name, James Leal. James, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me today.
It's great to have you here. Now, the reason why I said what I said is, believe it or not, those of you watching, James has been to 48 consecutive San Diego handicaps. How old were you the very first time you came, and do you remember it?
Well, the one I could document, I think I was 7 years old, and I'm sure I would tag along with my dad prior to that.
When you say document, did you have a win ticket? Do you have a ticket stub?
I actually had the program. I saved all the programs when I was a kid for years and years and years.
You still have them?
Some. I think they got purged over the years, but I do have a few of those left someplace, and I had so many mementos from back in those days.
Very cool, very cool. Now, maybe what are one or two of your favorite memories of the Big Cap, James?
Well, the first one was, affirmed. He was a Triple Crown winner, and
you remember that afternoon. You've got a
as clear
memory
as day.
Like an elephant.
I was standing about 20 feet from where we are right now when I watched him on that day, and he broke the track record, and it was just it was a thing that really cemented my love for the game. He was a beautiful horse, and then he won the biggest race, and it was a massive crowd that day, and he was just the horse that really tied me into this sport. Give us another one, James. Maybe one more currently that some fans might remember. Well, I think what got lost in a lot of the shuffle of the Big Cap was the three-peat of Game On Dude, a few years back. He won one year, very controversial that he was left up that year. He should have been disqualified, in my opinion, but he was left up. And then the next year, a different horse, Ron the Greek, won. And then Game On Dude came back and won 2 more consecutive runnings. So, he was never a horse I made any money betting on, but he sure was an outstanding older horse. And to win this race 3 times is pretty monumental. You're a historian, unfortunately. I'm not. Did Lava Man ever win the Big Cap? He did. I'm not. I think he won it twice. It was, the time. I think it was right before. I think it was before Game On Dude did. But yeah, he did win it. One of the things you're active in, James, besides coming to the track every day, is playing in tournaments. So let's cue up the graphic that I wanted to show before we go to break. And that is the graphic demonstrating that we're having a huge tournament, both here on track tomorrow at San Diego, as well as online at expressbet.com. And the reason why it's so huge is it's an NHC super qualifier. And what happens is, for every 15 people that play tomorrow, 1 NHC seat will be awarded. And if you're already double qualified for this coming year, and by the way, the tournament is in March at Horseshoes Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, you can still play in this tournament because you can qualify for next year as well. It's a really cool format that I would recommend all of you watching participate in, because you put up $1,500, $1,000 bankroll, $500 prize money, which goes to all the prizes that are awarded. And the $1,000 bankroll is $50 win in place on 10 races of your choice. Those races could either be all 10 races here from San Diego, or some of the races from San Diego, but also the last 4 races at Gulfstream Park. It's a really good, fun tournament because the leaderboard is packed. You've played in that tournament, James, but you also qualified for the NHC. Talk to us about what your experience at the NHC was like. NHC was a blast. It's 3 days. Well, it's actually first 2 days are, I think for 90% of the people. Yeah, for 90% of the people, exactly. The first 2 days are just, 7 racetracks, all the races. You have all the data in front of you, and you got to come up with 15 horses and try and come up with the best prices and winning horses. And the first day of that tournament, I did okay. I think I wound up, with about $40, which isn't too good. But the second day I got hot, and I got to the last 2 plays that I had left. There was 2 races left at Golden Gate. 95% of the crowd was done, and I was about $9 out of a spot to qualify for the last day. And I missed the first one, so I had 1 horse left, and Florine Seaman's wife sat there and just told me, just bet this horse. And I looked at that horse. I said, that horse has no chance. And it went wire to wire at 7-1, and she makes me listen to that every time. Whenever she says, you should have bet my horse. Woman's intuition, absolutely. That's for sure. But, it's interesting. I was thinking about this on the drive over, James. Every year that the winner wins, it's not luck, because as you mentioned, it's 3 consistent days of playing the races and not just hitting one big price horse because the prices are capped. The winner certainly earns that championship because you need to be good
for all 3 days.
Absolutely. You know, and I think anybody who's gambled on anything will go on heaters. Well, they'll go on streaks where they get really hot.
Blackjack table,
doesn't matter
sports,
what it is.
Right, exactly.
And
We've all been there.
And you'll have it the reverse as well. So to be hot for those 3 days, and that's where I got to give a little shout out to our late friend Jose Arias,
The champ.
He went wire to wire one year.
He did. I was there with him.
And then the second time he got there, he got all the way and got beat in the last leg. And
it was during the COVID year.
It was. But if you think about how difficult it is to go first, you know, for 3 straight days and then have it almost happen again. I mean, he truly was a handicapping savant. But that's what horse players dream of. You dream of being in a position for that kind of a score, because I think the winner gets close to $1 million.
Correct.
And
an Eclipse Award.
And the other great thing about this tournament is you cannot buy your way into it. You have to earn your way into it by winning subsequent tournaments or series of tournaments.
Like the one we're having tomorrow.
Exactly. Whereas in poker, you could just pay your way to get into it. But this one, you've got to really earn your way in. So
whether it's the NHC, James, or you mentioned the World Series of Poker, we've never had any sort of repetitive champion showcasing how difficult it is. That's
Correct.
My point is, you know, some people, oh, we got lucky or she got lucky or this or that. There's no chance that you're lucky. You're playing at the top of your game for 3 straight days, and hats off to anybody that wins.
Absolutely. And you got to be confident in what you're doing, you know, because you walk into this room and there's 700 players.
It's intimidating.
They got computers out. They got binders of encyclopedia looking things, and they're talking to each other. And you kind of, if you go in there on your own, you kind of have to look at this and say, wow, you know, am I up against it? But no, you just have to be confident and keep focused on what you're trying to accomplish there, which is get to that final day so you have a chance to get to the final table.
I'm confident that James is going to give us some winners on today's 9-race card. But before he does any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's Friday's card here at Santa Anita Park.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf firm. Rail on the turf is at 30 feet. Here are the changes. No changes in race 1, the beginning of the early pick 5. Race 2 starts the early pick 4. Number 2, Queen of the Track, will be ridden by Tyler Bays. And 4, City Glitter, 1 pound over. Program scratch in the 3rd of number 3, Established. 4th race is the beginning of the $2 pick 6. No changes. In the 5th, start of the all-turf pick 3, $3 wager, and 50-cent late pick 5. Scratch number 1, Ms. Club Cali. In the 6th race, scratch number 11, Botowie Boys. Late pick 4 starts with the 6th. The 7th race is the beginning of the late pick 3. No changes. 8th race starts the $5 late double. Scratch 1, Took Charge. Race 8, scratch number 1. And the 9th race offers super high 5 wagering. No changes. The Coast to Coast pick 5 is now offered Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So we do have one today, and we will have them going forward, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Low 15% takeout, $1 minimum. Combining races from Santa Anita Park and Gulfstream, it starts today in about an hour and 40 minutes. 112 is the first leg. It's Gulfstream's 8th. Enjoy your afternoon here at the Great Race Place. At this time, we go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today, handicapper and lifelong Santa Anita fan, James Leal.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with horse player James Leal. He's attended 48 consecutive San Diego handicaps. That's quite a record and an accomplishment. James, before we talk about today's 9-race card, a question for you. What type of handicapper are you? You don't have any computer in front of you. We know that much, but are you kind of an old school guy? And if you are, what are some of the things you look for when you crack open the form?
Well, pretty much I focus on Southern California, the circuit here. So I get pretty familiar with the horses, trainers, jockeys, owners, trends, the whole 9 yards. But primarily it's racing form, replays, workouts. So those are my three things that I go on. I'm a visual handicapper as well. So when I watch a replay, I can watch a stretch run. I can watch the start of a race, and my eyes tell me something different that maybe a speed figure will tell me, and there's a horse later today that I think that will really show itself. But I always try and trust my eyes. I've seen enough races to know I think I know what I'm looking at.
What do you think of our current jockey colony? Of course, you go back so far during the heyday when we had Shoemaker and McCarron and Eddie D and Lafitte Pincay. The list is endless of Hall of Fame riders. Right now, we're in a bit of a transition, but I actually think it's a very favorable transition because we've got guys like Flavien Prat and Frankie Dettori wintering out here during the winter. We've got a hardcore group of very talented jockeys as well, like Juan Hernandez and Berto Rispoli. Hard to match that jockey colony, but I think it's an improvement where we were maybe 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. And, you got to remember Juan Hernandez, too, has really made a name for himself down here. But, this has been a stopping off point for a lot of great jockeys.
Joel Rosario comes to mind immediately.
Yeah, Martin Garcia, came from Bay Meadows in Golden Gate, and he's I think he wound up riding some of the best horses for Baffert,
sure,
for a long period of time. And then now Hernandez has joined that group. Victor Espinoza was another one who came from up north. So now we got some of these jockeys coming from up north. Now, I think it's solidifying the colony a little bit. Obviously, the top guys at the top of the standings, they're getting the choice mounts.
Sure.
But I think where you really see the differences with guys like Pratt and Rispoli is on the grass. They just are in good position all the time to get their horses the best chance to win. And that's why sometimes Pratt will be on a horse. He puts the horse in position, and then the horse doesn't do what he wants it to do, and then he disappears from that mount. And that tells me all I need to know, because he gave the horse the right trip, and the horse just wasn't capable of producing the effort needed to win a race. So I use that a lot.
James is a visual handicapper. We're going to find that out right in race number 1. But before we do, let me set up the race. Race 1 is for Calbred fillies and mares, maiden special weight. The turf rails today are at 30 feet. Also, race 1 begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We've got a field of 7, and number 7, Benster, was the 8-5 morning line favorite. Currently even money on the tote board. Visually, James, you wanted to show this replay of January 1st. It was the very first race on New Year's Day. The reason why is 5 of the 7 runners in today's field exit this race. The one I want you to focus on, since I watched the replay in this particular replay, is the horse wearing saddlecloth number 5, which is Benster. Benster this particular afternoon was ridden by Frankie Dettori. Makes an early move on the backside, kind of gets stuck in behind the leader as they go into the far turn. He has to idle and wait for room. He finds a small crease mid-stretch, sneaks through, but is only second best. I thought he might have been best this particular afternoon, but you be the judge. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action on New Year's Day of race number 1 and watch the horse wearing saddlecloth number 5.
We're in the gate. And they're off. Gioro is out quickly, so is Danzig Till Dawn, who broke a bit inward. Copperhead Fever is up close in the early stages. Benster is in 4th. Lead away down at the rail is the gray in 5th. 2 clear of Cheering for Layla. The other gray, Winter Snow, is the early trailer. Into the first turn, the pace lively, and the leader, Copperhead Fever, outside Gioro. Those 2 sprint 2 clear of Danzig Till Dawn in 3rd. It's another couple of lengths. Back to Benster and Lead Away, who are right together. 2 clear of Cheering for Layla. Winter Snow has 6 to make up onto the back stretch, where it's Gioro in front, tugging hard, and opens up a length and a half on Copperhead Fever 2nd. 2 more, Danzig Till Dawn settled in 3rd. Now Benster is moving up between rivals, coming through along the inside, in fact, to be a joint 2nd. Lead Away is by herself 5th at the half-mile pole, 4 lengths off the lead, 2 clear of Winter Snow, and Cheering for Layla into the far turn. It's Gioro prominent throughout, tested once again by Copperhead Fever. Danzig Till Dawn is 3 deep in 3rd. Benster fourth, lead away, inching closer fifth, just 3 lengths off the lead. Couple more to cheering for Layla. Winter Snow trails. A quarter of a mile to go. At the rail, Gioro is under serious pressure. Danzig Till Dawn's had a good trip, sweeps up on the outside to be on even terms, and lead away gets a clear shot in the center of the course. Benster, Copperhead for coming to the 16th pole, and it's Danzig Till Dawn. Benster coming through on the inside and lead away. Benster, lead away. These two go on. Lead away with big strides late, and lead away gets up to beat Benster. Third went to Danzig Till Dawn.
James, as I mentioned, Benster might have been best. And of course, everybody saw that trouble, which is one of the reasons why she's even money. But you're going in a different direction. You like Giro, who was on the lead. Gioro set fractions of 23 and 148 flat, 112, but was pestered the whole time as well. You think she might actually be in line for improvement today?
I do, and she, as you said, was pestered the entire time. So when you look at fractions, that's another thing when you talk about, I'll hear people say, well, this horse, they weren't going very fast. But when you have another horse at your throat the whole way, the horse is putting out more energy than what the clock is saying they are. And if you go back and look 3 races back for Gioro, she ran against Benster on November 9th at Del Mar, and Benster beat her by a neck. So I'm hoping she gets a better trip today. She's drawn outside. She's in the 5-hole today. Last time she was on the 1-hole, kind of forced her hand. I'm kind of hoping she could sit right behind the leaders, who I expect to be the 2 and the 6, and get a much better trip than she did last time. And when you give me that choice of betting even money or 9-1, it's a no-brainer for me.
And it's interesting, James, before the break, we were talking about the NHC, the National Handicapping Championship. Take a look at the ownership group for your top choice, number 5, Gioro. NHC Table 24 Racing LLC. You having been there before, you know that a lot of friendships are formed. I have a feeling the ownership group here is a bunch of people who maybe played in the NHC at table number 24. You never know where those friendships might take you.
No, in fact, it'd be interesting to go to the paddock and look who they are, because the fact that they have a horse with Leonard Powell would tell you they're probably West Coast handicappers that all met at the NHC, and now they've got a horse with Leonard.
And the breeder is Matt Malley, who I can tell you has played in the NHC before and will be on track. So interesting to meet Matt and his wife and find out the story behind Gioro and the ownership group involved. James, let's turn the page. Take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs in the main track for fillies and mares. $10,000 is the claiming tag. Make the jockey in number 2, Queen of the Track, Tyler Bays. We've got a field of 8. Number 8, Discrepancy, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 2.
Yeah, this is a challenging race. Discrepancy being the favorite. One of the first things I do when I handicap any race is find who the favorite is and figure out a way to beat him. It didn't take me long to figure out how to beat this horse. Discrepancy doesn't have a lot of speed, and really on this track, you don't want to be too far out of it. Therefore, and I'm always looking for a price. I came to the number 3 horse, Woodbine Way. And if you look at the last race, you just toss it right out because the horse was going 2 turns. This race is at 5.5 furlongs, much better distance for this horse. I get a hungry rider in Serafine Carmona, who's an older bug boy. So anybody who's thinking about changing careers in your late 30s, it might be a good idea to talk to him, because he did it.
And he did well up at Canterbury during the summer before coming to Southern California.
He sure did. And this particular horse has run some numbers in the past that gets them right where you need to be. I'm just kind of throwing some stuff at the board here, trying to come up with something to beat the favorite. Interesting horse. Second horse I have here, number 4, City Glitter. When you look at the overall record, she has got 5 wins, 5 seconds, and 5/3 out of 28 lifetime starts. But the key for me was that she's got 7 starts on dirt, 3 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. So she's obviously partial to the dirt. Problem with her as well, she doesn't have a lot of early speed and might be coming from out of it. So it really kind of a grab bag and a pick 5s. You got to spread all over the place in this race, but my goal is to beat Discrepancy here.
Let's take a look at race number 3. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. It's an allowance race restricted to horse and horsemen who have been based in Northern California since January 1st, 2024. Program scratch of the 3 established leaves us with a field of 6. Number 2, Grubauer, is the heavy 2 to 5 morning line favorite. Fresh off a victory last time here, earning a big buyer speed figure. What say you about race 3, James?
Well, Grubauer is taking advantage of the condition of the race, where she kind of gets a free spot to run back in this. She just defeated the similar type of horses earlier in the month, and now she's back against the same type of horses. So she figures to be a prohibitive favorite, and I don't think I would get too creative trying to beat her. It's a horse race. Anything can happen in a horse race. But for wagering purposes, the only thing I would do here is try and bet a 2-6 Cold Exact exacta with the horse American Empire, shortening up off the route races, coming to a sprint. Just to hope come clunking along for second, because she doesn't have any speed, so she figures to lay back and make a run. And I'm thinking a 2.6 exacta might be the way to go there.
Race number 4 begins the $2 pick 6. We're spreading 5.5 furlongs on the main track for maiden claimers, Calbred 3-year-old fillies, in for a $12,500 tag. Again, restricted primarily to horses based up in Northern California. We've got a field of 7. Number 2, Nepali, is 6-5 on Jeff Siegel's morning line. First-time Lasix, as are a number of these in here. There's also an interesting first-time starter, number 5, Robbins Tough Love, primarily based down here in Southern California from the Steve Miotti barn. What are your thoughts on race 4, James?
Well, this is one of the things that we've noticed from these restricted races for these horses coming from Northern California, that the horses that have been working on this track or have had a race over this track have been performing better than the horses that have been working up at Pleasanton. I think the surface differences are making a big difference in getting these horses fit. So with that being said, the number 2 horse, Nefeli, I mean, she's run second 3 straight times at very short numbers. Those are the kind you try and beat. And she's 6-5 on the morning line. So the horse I came to is the 5 horse Robbins Tough Love. Steve Miotti's had this horse here now for 2 months, basically, and she's been working the horse, on this track regularly. The last work on the training track here was a really good work. She looked like she showed a little bit more speed than she had in the previous one. And I went and I looked at her dam. Her dam won 2 races out of 13 starts, including when she won both of those races, she went wire to wire, broke her maiden and a main special at Golden Gate. And the thing that really keyed me about her dam was the grand dam was Tiz Elemental, who was a graded stakes winner.
I think from the Carla Gaines barn.
Absolutely. So obviously, she's debuting. This horse is debuting for 12.5. Probably didn't pick up her grand dam's ability, but she
realistically placed.
Yeah, she really has enough pedigree behind her to probably get to a good position in this race.
Race number 5 begins both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all-turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% take-on. We kick off both wagers in race 5, spreading 6.5 furlongs on the turf course, on the flat turf course for Calbred, fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Scratch the 1, Miss Club Cali, leaves us with a field of 7. Number 5, Lady Gregory, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. 7 ways you can go here, James. Which way are you going and why?
Yeah, they scratched the horse I liked in this race. I really liked Miss Club Cali in this race, but after doing all the replay work and really studying this pretty well, I mean, I didn't get too creative here. Lady Gregory ran the best race in her last race, and she should have won. She got tagged by a deep closer, and that was one of those races that's just kind of an off race where you had one horse run off. Mirinda was about 6 lengths clear at the top of the lane, and so it puts the rest of the horses that are laying second and third in kind of a chase mode. And this horse was sitting kind of by herself. She made a big run. She got tagged at the wire by a horse from Craig Lewis, and I think she really stands out in this race with the scratch of the 1 horse. And the second horse I picked in here is the 6 horse Can't Sleep. She won first time out for Carla Gaines, who that is not one of her MOs. She doesn't really have them cranked first time out. And for this horse to win first time kind of tells you she has some natural ability. Now, there's a long layoff we have to navigate here of 10 months, but she probably is the second horse in the race for me.
And James's top pick, number 5, Lady Gregory. If you're looking at the racing form, you can see she defeated the cleverly named Lamborghini from the Doug O'Neill barn, who came back to win, identified as italicized in the daily racing form. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're going a flat mile on the main track for $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Take out the also eligible. Number 11, Bow Tie Boys, leaves us with a field of 10. Number 8, Smoke 'em Easy, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. I thought this was one of the more difficult races on the card, James. What say you?
I completely agree with you, Tom. The 8 horse being the favorite in this race. Again, like I said, first thing I do is try and figure out who the favorite is and then find a way to beat it. When you get to the non-winners of 2 life, it doesn't take much to come up with a case to beat any horse. They're in this condition because they just are not as fast as some of the other horses. And when you get 10 or 11 of them together, it doesn't take a lot for one of them to get discouraged and not want to win. So I just try and find some angle in a race like this. And what I did is I came up with the number 2 horse, Damasio. He's kind of a grinder. When I watch this replay on this horse, just kind of grinds away sprinting. Now you get the 2 turns, you get more distance. He's never been 2 turns. And maybe this is the wake-up call he's looking for. I do get a jock upgrade in Serafine Carmona, again, who is going to work and hustle battle this horse. And really in a wide open race, if you're playing pick fours, pick fives, you got to spread in this race. There's no way around it. And the other horse I came up with was the number 4 horse, Battle Cruiser, as the second horse in the race. That horse is, you could just tell by watching the replays, a very difficult horse to ride. And the jockey who won on it last time, Abel Escano, stays aboard. Even though the race was at Los Al, it was a big field, had a lot of traffic. And you see the jockey, he just never stopped pushing on the horse. And finally, in about the final 1/8 of a mile, you see the horse kind of accelerate. Another horse who obviously wants to run 2 turns. I don't know if a lot of these horses want to run 2 turns, but you're not going to surprise me with anybody that wins this race.
Well, it's interesting, James, looking through the past performances for race number 6, I'm looking at horses like number 3, Lurking Fear, who's stretching out of a 1,000-yard race at Los Alamitos. Another runner like number 9, Travel the Map, who has shown a lot of early speed, both sprinting and routing. Looks like there's going to be a lot of early speed in this race, which could set it up for DiMaggio, like you mentioned, coming out of a sprint, but doesn't have blazing speed. So I would expect him to be maybe stalking the pace down inside. He could get a real good trip at morning lines of 6-1. I certainly understand your logic. Race number 7 begins at $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% tag on, and we kick things off here in race 7, going 1 mile on the turf course for Calbred fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. A field of 9, number 5, Ultimate High, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, James, a number of these runners, 3 of these runners, as a matter of fact, exit the same race. It was a race back on January 1st once again, but this time it was the 7th race. The one I want you to pay attention to is Ashley Sandcastle. She's going to be wearing saddlecloth number 6 in this replay. As they approach the far turn, you'll see she gets all jammed up once again, swings out wide for the stretch run, doesn't have enough late kick, but I think the trouble was substantial. You be the judge and watch saddlecloth number 6, Ashley Sandcastle, in this replay while we listen to Frank Miramonte describe the action.
And they're off. Little bobble out of the gate for She's Misbehaving. It's a quick start for Sassy Prancelot. Nida is up close and Proof of Jazz outside of them. They're followed by Lady Montclair, who will get the perfect spot in 4th. Miss Club Cali is next. Followed 2 back by Ashley Sandcastle, who's 7 or 8 lengths off the speed. Down at the rail, Draw Me, She's Misbehaving in between horses, and Glacier Rim outside of that pair. A battle has ensued between Nida and Proof of Jazz, and they've sped 8 lengths clear. Sassy Prancelot could not ask for a better trip in 3rd. Another 4 back to Lady Montclair 4th. And then comes Miss Club Cali, 3 lengths clear of Ashley Sandcastle. Glacial Rim is next. Down at the rail comes Draw Me, and She's Misbehaving is last. Less than a half mile to go. And it is Proof of Jazz and Nida, but they're now only 3 in front. Sassy Prancelot and Kyle Frey coming after them in 3rd. Miss Club Cali 4th. Lady Montclair is under a little bit of pressure between horses. Ashley Sandcastle moving through, but having to steady off horses' heels. And here's She's Misbehaving, who was so far back, suddenly 3rd with a 1/4 mile to go. Ms. Club Cali gets the jump. On the outside, She's Misbehaving in the white blinkers, and Sassy Prancelot along the rail. Sassy Prancelot just in front with a furlong left to go. Behind them, Lady Montclair trying to slip through horses. 16th pole, Lady Montclair finds the narrowest of seams in between horses and comes to get the lead late. Another brilliant ride from Flavian Pratt to make the difference as Lady Montclair beats Sassy Prancelot.
James, very interesting replay to watch because, as I described before the replay, Ashley Sandcastle was making a move at the top of the turn, had to jam on the brakes, lost all chance, and despite all of that, got beat by basically just 2 lengths. Now switches over to Hector Barrios. 1 win so far in her career. Came on this turf course. 1 win so far in her career. Came at this distance as well. A lot of things to like at 10-1. That's what I saw. Did you see it the same way?
I saw it exactly the same way. And, you know, when you were we were talking a few minutes ago about the jockey colony, you know, I don't know that there was anything the jockey on the 6 could have done, but I just don't like the fact that he stayed inside when he could see there was a suicide duel going up in front of him. And you have to know those horses are going to stop in front of you
at some point.
At some point. So you got to make sure when your horse needs the momentum, that you're not going to get her stopped. But that can happen to anybody. And as you can tell when I'm on camera, I've never sat on the back of a thoroughbred racehorse in a race. So that's being a little critical on my end. But anyway, that's how I saw the race. The only thing I don't like about Ashley Sandcastle is that she is 1 for 16. So is she one of those horses that likes to find a little bit of trouble? But based off of that replay and the odds of 10-1 which I don't think we're going to get. I think everybody saw that replay before you and I just showed it. I think she's going to wind up being the second or third choice in the race. She figures to get the trip in here.
You also give a little love to number 5, Ultimate High, who is the morning line favorite in for the tag, meaning she already broke this condition. What do you like about her?
Well, she's been facing much better than these. You know, she's faced a lot of open company, run against a lot of really top class horses. The only reason I didn't put her on top is she's 8 years old. And sometimes mares, when they get a little older, they just don't have that same desire to win. I think if she shows up with her A game, I think she can easily win this race because she has been facing much better than these.
And if you go way back in the past performances to May of 2024 for Ashley Sandcastle, you can see she was ridden that afternoon by Hector Barrios to a victory, her only career victory up to this point in her career. Today, Hector decides to ride her back. Race number 8 begins the $5 late daily double with a reduced 15% takeout as well. And we kick off that wager sprinting 6.5 furlongs in the main track for allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of one other than. Takeout number 1, Took Charge, will not compete this afternoon. Leaves us with a field of 7. Number 7, March of Time, the half-brother to Bodemeister, trained by Bob Baffert as well, is the 6-5 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, James, let's take a look at a workout for March of Time. This was since his last race. This was back on January 26th. He's going to be down on the inside in the yellow cap, the exercise rider. Look who his workmate is, none other than Barnes. A lot of people like Barnes, a newly turned 3-year-old, to win both the San Diego Derby and the Kentucky Derby. That's a little bit down the road, but we know that Barnes has a lot of ability. The Connections paid $3 million for him at auction as well. So the workmate is very talented. March of Time, we know, is also a talented horse. He's just had 2 career starts up to this point. He was spectacular during his comeback race at the beginning of this meet. Now he's jumping up one level to the non-winners of one other than. Generally speaking, I think we both think, James, that March of Time is going to run well today. The question becomes, how short of a price are you going to take?
Well, just on sheer principle, I could never bet this horse. As you know, I'm a big Dodger fan. And this horse is partly owned by Walker Buehler, Jill Baffert,
and Alex Bregman.
And Alex Bregman, the Astro, the cheating Astro.
The current, cheating Astros.
Well, yeah, he's currently a free agent, so if he signs someplace else, I might forgive him. But I can't support a horse owned by a Houston Astro. It's just against
or a former Dodger.
Well, former Dodger, I can excuse
Don't hold that against the horse.
No, I'm not going to hold it against the horse. This is obviously a talented horse.
Sure.
And he's probably going to be 2 to 5.
Right, exactly. That's my point.
And speaking of which, one of the things that I see every day is I'll see a horse that gets bet, and he's 2 to 5. And the next click on the board, there's a massive amount of money. It goes to 1 to 5. And I think, who's the guy who's betting? He sees 2 to 5. Yeah, or woman. And says, that's good value. I want to get some of that and knock the horse to 1 to 5.
Push it to 1 to 5. Thank God. God bless them all, right? That's
absolutely.
Good news for us.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think about it. I've been tutoring a couple of people. I brought them
new
out.
Horse players.
Yeah, new horse players. Desiree, Marissa, Sarah, get back to work. Stop watching this. And I tell them all the time, I said, the greatest thing about this sport is you can be wrong 8 times a day, and one winner can make you a lot of money.
Correct.
This is the kind of horse you bet all of these. They got to win 8 times a day for you to make any money. And so these are the kind of horses you try and beat.
Over a long period of time, you're going to wind up on the winning end.
Absolutely. If you keep taking them on. Now, with regard to pick 4s and pick 5s and things of that nature, you have to include this horse. He's obviously a very talented horse. And you showed the workout where this horse ran against Barnes. Another workout before that was against Gaming.
Correct.
So obviously Bob's having, this horse run against some of his better horses. Whereas the number 6 horse, Dothraki, was working against another horse that had just broken its maiden. He ran one time against winners and didn't do too well. So that's how I assess the 2 Baffert horses.
And speaking of Martin Garcia, he's in town both today and this weekend to ride for Mr. Baffert, including Dothraki in race number 8.
Correct. So after that long soliloquy, my answer to your question of what I like in the race.
In that last 90 seconds. You gave shout out to some of your coworkers. You talked about gambling strategy.
I hope they're not working right now.
You talked about Dodgers.
Yeah.
A lot going on in your mind. What is it about Tessuto you like?
I think I was on your show a year ago in this horse's debut, and I had watched his workouts, and I really thought he looked well in his workouts. So I followed this horse's career, and I unloaded on him last time, and he ran a very good second to a sharp Steve Knapp horse, Bartholdi. The thing I don't like, since we've talked about this race, is the scratch of the one horse, drops his horse down onto the rail. He doesn't have a lot of early speed, so he's going to sit back and make a big run. And just from a price standpoint, I thought he was a good alternative. And he's got really good works, too, since that race. The other horse I went to is the 5 horse Positivity. This is a situation, another
Both
handicapping lesson.
Papillodromos.
Yeah, another handicapping lesson I've tried to give out. This Baffert horse is going to be 1-5. He's run 2 times. He's got 1 win and 1 second. Positivity's got 6 wins, 4 seconds, and 3/3. He's an old pro. He knows what he's doing when he gets out there. And on his day, he can really run, and you can give them a run for their money. He's 10-1. Listen, I understand how good this Baffert horse probably is, but I can't make any money playing a 1-5 shot.
And just an additional comment of my own on James's top selection in race 8, number 2, Tessuto. Take a look at the 3 times he's used Lasix, which he's using today. They were his 3 best career efforts. He finished 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in all 3 of those efforts. It certainly looks like he needs the anti-bleeding medication to put forth his best effort. I think that's another positive in his corner to perhaps upset the heavily favored Bob Baffert runner. We close out the day in race number 9, offering $1 super high 5 wagering. We're going 1 mile on the turf course for starter allowance types. Good field of 9. Number 2, Promisio is a first-time gelding. Morning line favorite number 7, Zalamo from the Leonard Paulborn. 5-2, Frankie Dettori in the saddle. We need a winner for dinner. Give it to us, James.
Well, I think the 3 horse is going to be where I'm going to try and get some dinner money tonight. Last time out at this track on this turf course, went wire to wire, and he did take some pressure early in that race. This was the one where I said earlier that visually the horse impressed me better than the number that came back on the horse. The horse was really striding out coming to the finish. Don't know what was behind him in comparison to today's field, but that's where I'm going to lean. He doesn't appear to have to be a horse that needs the lead, but I think he was just better than those, and so he was on the lead. So today I think he's going to get a forward trip. Based on the way he finished last time, I don't see any reason why he won't be there today. Also, the second horse in the race I'm going to is the number 5 horse, Kimmer. If you look at this horse's last 2 races, he Bayard 82, the number 82. This horse is 10-1 on the morning line. The favorite in the race is number 7, Zalamo. His last 4 races have all Bayard at 82. Again, 5-2 versus 10-1. It's a simple way to go. Zalamo had a trip last time where he had to kind of wait for a bit, coming to the top of the stretch, got clear, and then could not run down the winner. But from the price standpoint, he's running the same numbers as the 5 horse, so therefore 10-1, I'll take the 5 horse. This is my second choice.
3 and 5 to wrap up a good 9 race card today here at the Great Race Place. James, thanks so much for your time and insight today. Best of luck attending another 48 consecutive Sandy to handicap.
Take the under on that one.
Take the under on that one.
Yeah.
One more wager for all of you to consider before we go, and that is the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5. It's not going to be offered every single Friday going forward, not just in January's, but for the remainder of the Gulfstream Park Championship meet. As you can see, it's $1 minimum. Low 15% takeout. The first leg in the Coast to Coast Pick 5 today is Gulfstream Park, race number 8. Post time for that race is 1:12 p.m. Pacific time. 10 races tomorrow, Saturday, noon post. That means the seminar starts at 10:50 a.m. Thanks so much for watching today. Hope you have a great afternoon. Good luck, everybody. We'll do it all again tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail on the turf out 30 feet. Here are the changes. And the track conditions are brought to you by John Deere. Nothing new to report. Here's a reprise. In the first, started the early pick 5. No changes. Race 2, number 2, Queen of the Track, now ridden by Tyler Bays, and Forest City Glitter will carry 1 pound over. In the third, program scratch at number 3, Established. The fourth starts the pick 6. No changes. The fifth starts the all-turf pick 3 and late pick 5, scratch number 1, Ms. Club Cali. In the sixth, beginning of the late pick 4, scratch the also eligible number 11, Bowtie Boys. Seventh kicks off the late pick 3 with no program changes. 8 starts the late double. Scratch 1, Took Charge, $5 late double. And in the ninth race, super high 5 wagering is offered, and there are no changes. Enjoy your afternoon here at Santa Anita Park. We're 27 minutes away from race number 1. Note that post times both tomorrow and Sunday, first post, will be at 12 noon. We have the Lunar New Year celebrations going on. Robert B. Lewis Day tomorrow, Saturday. And the Coast to Coast Pick 5 is now offered Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now for the very popular Coast to Coast Pick 5. $1 wager, and it combines races from Santa Anita Park and Gulfstream Park.